Welcome to Forensic Friday,
where we examine the intersection of true crime, psychology, and the heart of being human in the middle of it all. Well, hello, friend.
Hi.
Hi, forensic friends.
They say hi.
We've had the flu take us down one by one, but your girl's been fighting real hard.
I know you have not gotten it. I was and still am somewhat dead.
Well, and yours has had stages. I mean, it is taking you out a little bit at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, you've been sick. We're hanging in there. Are you going to get an IV? Did you decide yet?
I don't know. Maybe.
Trying to talk her into it to bring her back to life for
I
our,
know.
12-hour day tomorrow or whatever it is.
I've got my Gatorade.
You got your Gatorade. I have my lemonade protein that I love so much. It's so good.
It is good. I use that now too.
So isn't it good? I don't always like a chalky protein. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I like the protein that it's all from the place that I've used, which is First Form. But
Yeah.
I like the other stuff too. It's just like the meal replacement stuff is so thick sometimes.
Yeah.
It's hard.
No, I know. I think it's thick because it's replacing a meal, but also I'm like, oh, I cannot choke this thing down. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? Can't do it. Well, I was thinking about our episode for Friday,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to even say what it is, but it's connected
Mm-hmm.
to this in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking also this morning, I was writing a little bit about reframing recovery because in the book I'm writing about psychopathy, I'm addressing survivors. You and I work with sometimes psychopathic humans,
Mm-hmm.
but there's often people on the other side of that behavior who then are trying to recover and survive the things that have happened to them. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been noodling with and finding research on normalizing a slower recovery.
Mm-hmm.
And what is it? What's the thing that you do? It's like 30 hard or 75 soft or what's the
75 hard.
75 hard? No, but there's a soft one. I did
I
the
made that
soft one.
up.
No, there is a real soft one.
Oh.
There's a real soft one because I did it one time. It's the
Oh.
soft version of the hard one that you do.
I'm gonna have to Google this.
Google it. It's so funny. This is so on brand for me. It's not even funny. But I was like, I want to do a little something, but not a lot of something because,
Oh my gosh.
life is hard. And it's really good. It's like a slower recovery. It's like do a little bit more, read a little bit, but it's not like doing 8 things at once because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that's hard to maintain. And
Mm-hmm.
people who are in survival mode are often really hard on themselves and they can't do what they think they should be able to do. Like people survive these really tough circumstances and then they're like, well, why can't I get out of bed in the morning? And why can't I be less hyper vigilant at night or whatever the symptom is.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that's really important is to be able to be kind to yourself. And then that got me thinking about what happens when you need to be vulnerable with your partner in particular. I would say friends, coworkers, whoever.
Mm-hmm.
But for today's mini, I'm thinking particularly what kind of courage does it take and how do we say I can't when I really want to be good for my partner, my kids, my family, my friends, whoever?
Mm-hmm.
How do we actually do that? And how do we evaluate how healthy our relationship is in this regard? Because I think sometimes we hide our limits,
Mm-hmm.
particularly in the beginning of a relationship to attract someone. We don't want to be too much, too emotional, too hard. But also, then sometimes when a relationship's struggling, we want to keep someone.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want to become the naggy, bitchy wife. We want to be fun and maybe spontaneous, and maybe they're complaining because, there's not enough sex in the relationship or whatever. And what I hear from women all the time in particular
Mm-hmm.
is they really just want to make it look easy.
Mm-hmm.
I think men naturally don't want us to see them sweat as much, but women really, there's a lot of stigma around being, quote unquote, needy, clingy, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we start to play hurt,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So kind of the first part of this I wanted to talk about is the impression trap, which is where this kicks off, right?
Perfect.
When we're kind of in the early stage of wanting to be chosen, and the ultimate wanting to be chosen is a pick me, right?
Yes.
Oh, there was one on Love is Blind. Can I tell you?
The new season?
The new season,
I've not watched it.
number one, we had an absolute takedown from a father to a man who I'm not going to say is psychopathic, but I'm going to say is problematic. Red flag, red flag, red flag. Everywhere are red flags.
And the dad said something?
He literally just looks at this guy and was like, how honest are you? Like, I don't think you're a very honest person. Like, just boom. And I was like, oh my God, it was great. That's great watching.
I'm gonna have to watch it now.
That's up there with the Sandoval takedown
Mm-hmm.
on Vanderpump. I mean, it's up there. It's real good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But in this particular season, there's one gal on there, Bree, who she's like, people called me Breezy, like in high school, which there was this whole thing online about how Breezy's like usually kind of an attractive girl. And
Mm-hmm.
so she was sort of like floating that in the pods a little bit, being Bree, whatever. It's a whole thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
she's a pick me. So one of the guys decides to tell her, I actually like you. You're more my type. Oh, red flag guy. Nope, not red flag guy, a different red flag guy.
yeah.
Tells
Okay.
her, you're kind of more my type and is dogging on the guy's like ex who's a doctor and gorgeous. And he's like, I go for girls who do Pilates. Like he's an idiot.
Oh my
I hope he's
gosh.
living in a room the size of a closet and reflecting on his terrible life choices. But
No.
this chick Breezy is like absorbing his bullshit about her because she really just kind of is enjoying the attention and the affection.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Mm-hmm.
the ultimate impression trap, I think, for a woman is to be a pick me, to be like, please, me, I can be cool. I don't need
Yeah.
anything. I'm like one of the dudes, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And the rest of us are like, stop, you're doing too much, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's a cost to any of this when we really try to be chosen at the expense of being ourselves. And what is
Mm-hmm.
the cost now? Like, what does it cost us when we're like, step outside of what we need and pretend like we don't need anything?
Well, we're not vulnerable, and so we're not actually going to connect with somebody.
Yes.
Like we're going to lack connection. We're going to lack genuine conversation. It's going to be painful, like what you were just describing between
Yes.
this like psychopath and Miss Pick Me Girl.
Yes. And then what happens is then we're not building intimacy, we're auditioning.
Mm-hmm.
Intimacy is somebody seeing us at our worst when we're like puking our guts out or we're whatever. There's something really kind of precious about that. I think that's part of why women are really sensitive after they have babies. And if a man shows up really well for her, it's like a forever bond.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really
Mm-hmm.
cool thing when a man can walk through such an amazing, vulnerable, intimate
Mm-hmm.
experience and do it well.
Mm-hmm.
But not all men handle that well. And so
Mm-hmm.
women in particular, I think, learn to just sort of
Mm-hmm.
nothing to see here. And then men wonder why they marry one person and then all of a sudden they're like, she's just a mess. She wears sweatpants every day. And it's like, dude, I just had a 9-pound baby. Like, sorry,
Right.
not sorry, right?
Right.
Um, how does this show up for men? Because I'm feeling very connected to how this shows up for women, but I know this also shows up for men.
Like pick me men.
Kind of pick me men or like men who just are trying to meet an expectation or honestly, even red flag guy on Love is Blind, original red flag guy, not the
Mm-hmm.
one who left the doctor. He's just a moron. The other one plays hard and fast with the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the fast and loose,
I have no idea.
fast and you, I know you won't have it. It's a Natalieism somewhere in there. But one of the things that I was thinking about with just now as we're talking about this is that guy, first red flag guy,
Mm-hmm.
is probably super insecure. He talks
Mm-hmm.
about how he traveled here and there and he worked like this and he makes this and he can do that. And it's all these
Mm-hmm.
different careers built on top of each other. Day trader, which is a little bit of a red flag occasionally for in our line of
Mm-hmm.
work, but he probably is a bit of a pick me guy. Like he's trying
Sure.
to present well, and one of the kinder takedowns of him,
Mm-hmm.
got a few. One of them really did kind of zone in on this, that he's just trying so hard to
Mm-hmm.
make himself into something.
We'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by Southeast Counseling Center. Southeast Counseling Center is a 501c3 nonprofit mental health provider right here in Parker, Colorado, conveniently located just off major highways. We serve the whole family, from play therapy for kids to couples and family therapy, trauma treatment, psychological testing, and specialized groups. Access matters. That's why Southeast Counseling Center accepts Medicaid, TriWest, and victim compensation, and also offers a community subsidy program to help people who fall in the gap between Medicaid and traditional insurance coverage. And because we're a nonprofit, every dollar donated by the community goes directly towards providing treatment services for people who need help. Prefer to meet at home? Telehealth is available statewide so anyone in Colorado can access our services. To get started, call 720-842-5553 or fill out our secure web inquiry form at secounseling.org. Southeast Counseling Center, care that is accessible, compassionate, and rooted in the community. Yeah, I mean, I think you're describing exactly what it is. It's lack of depth, and it's about like it's kind of like a scorecard, right? It's like, okay, I check these boxes. Women typically look for this in a guy, and as long as I have this, then I'm good.
Yes.
You
And
know?
men also have things they can't control that are part of this too. I
Yeah.
feel like.
I think women put this pressure on.
I think they do. I
Yeah.
think they do.
But then it becomes like a peeing match of that, like, I mean, I haven't seen this season, but they start to like compare themselves to the other guys.
Yes.
And
Oh,
that's
that
when
for sure happened.
yeah, and that's when it becomes like a little bit more of that desperate look.
Well, and for Breezy, it's so funny you say that. So for this chick Breezy, okay,
Mm-hmm.
the man who she's with adores her.
Mm.
But he's not her normal station in terms of his career. He's a little more blue collar, really nice guy, good looking guy, just not who she normally is super into.
Mm-hmm.
And the red flag guy who left the doctor, I didn't even care enough to learn his name, honestly, came in and was undercutting the other guy, was like, you need more adventure. You need someone who's going to teach you. I'm like, oh my God.
Gross.
Like,
Gross.
like it just really did. The hair went up on the back of my neck, but
Mm-hmm.
he tried to undermine those things about that other man. So that is interesting. And sure enough, spoiler alert, they end up splitting, Breezy and her partner, partially because of this. And he's so kind to her, even during that process. So
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
Did she get with the douchebag?
Not. But you know what? If she did, then she's got things to learn. Apparently,
Yep.
he thinks so
Yep.
too. Oh my God. Whatever.
Right.
Oh, that like stresses me out so much. But you know what? Choose your own adventure. It's fine. It's all fine.
Aw.
Why do you think, Nat, saying I can't or that's too much for me feels so vulnerable? What is it about that? With a partner in particular, when you're like, I'm struggling. So in our example for Friday, right?
Mhm.
One person in the relationship could do something the other person couldn't. So when we have to tell our partner, like, hey, I'm playing hurt. And this was the other reason I thought about this for us is your husband and my husband handle this differently, but both well, right? So your husband is a little more of a direct challenger, but very supportive and kind, but he takes things a little more head on. Garrett tends to wait until I figure something out and then come alongside me, which takes longer, but is also very humane. There's pros and cons, right? Mine might take 5 years, but it's very valuable. But he doesn't crush me in the process.
Yeah.
Your husband's more likely to just say the thing in 5 seconds that might take you a while to wrap your head around, but he's going to
No,
tell
this
you.
happened last night.
Oh no.
I mean, it wasn't bad.
Oh, good.
He just had an opinion about something and it was very direct. And I was like, you could say that differently. And then he did.
Oh, good for him. You know,
But no, I mean, yeah, yeah, they both get there, but I think I do appreciate my husband's approach because I think I'm also that way.
100%. Yeah, you don't have a lot of patience for vulnerability. Although your baby has brought this out in you for sure, too.
Yes.
And your husband, like both of you. I think nothing like having a baby to make anybody feel like life is hard.
Yes.
Beautiful, but hard.
100%. Well, and here's the thing. It's funny. So Press and I were just talking about the case that we're going to cover, and I won't spoil it, but, you know, he was like, it doesn't matter if the one party can do the thing and the other party can't, you never put the thing that's happening before their comfortability or skill.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And like, it's just not okay.
No, and it's a recipe for disaster.
Yes.
Relationally. And even something minor, like it could be something like what we're going to talk about Friday, but it could also be if you force a move on a partner. If you're like, I'm going to take this job, you can come or not.
Right.
And you don't leave any room for the other person to have a feeling or a need, you know, you're going to hear about that later. You know?
Or even like transitioning like household things. I remember when Press and I first got married, I got rid of his comforter.
Oh no.
Because I was like, this was when, like, it's like, yeah, it was old.
Oh, 100%. No.
I was like, it smells like a dude. You know what I mean?
I'm not doing that. No. It's like baked in there at that point. Ooh.
Yeah, no, it's not good. And so when we got married, I got us a new comforter or like a duvet cover and comforter, obviously. And he was like, you can't just come here and change all my things.
I got rid of Garrett's Hawaiian shirts. I threw them away.
That's terrible. Hawaiian shirts are cool.
I know he loved them very much, but just boop, they just disappeared one day.
Oh my gosh.
He was like, I would never do that to you. Like, what would you do if I threw something? And I was like, first of all, my stuff's cool. Second of all,
Janine,
it would not go well. Would not go well if he threw my stuff.
You learned not to do that.
I mean, would I still throw something away? Yes. Do I talk to my husband a lot more than I used to before I just make unilateral decisions? Absolutely. It's part of staying married.
That's good.
Right? You can be right. What do I tell couples? You can be right and you can be alone. You're going to be with somebody. You're going to have to work with them.
But I think to your question, though, I think saying, like, if you have to say, I can't do this, or like, this is too much for me, I do think that can trigger feelings of rejection and fear. But also, like, yeah, I mean, feeling like you're not, what's the term? Like, feeling like you're not living up to their expectation.
Absolutely.
You know?
Well, and I think both men and women feel vulnerable about things like getting older or how we look. But I especially think there's a fear when we've been with somebody for a long time, in particular, just being replaced like by somebody easier or more interesting or new, like novel, you know? I think there's some fear there. So from an attachment perspective, I think when we're anxiously attached, we sometimes people please to maintain closeness. So it's like, I'm just going to make sure you're happy with me all the time so you'll never leave me. And that can burn us out. But then I think if we're avoidant, we may hide limits by withdrawing instead of naming them. But neither one is real connection. If I avoid the things that are hard or if I people please to go
Mm-hmm.
around or cover up the things that are hard.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, I'm not building something real,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and sharing the thing is like an act of trust. I had this moment maybe 7 or 8 years ago, and there was something I was really, really, really scared of. And I can't even remember exactly what it was, but I know like kind of what vein it was in. And I was laying in the dark with Garrett. Poor Garrett. This man, he would sleep better without me. The rest of his life would go to crap without me, but he would sleep great, I think.
Mm.
And it was dark and he was falling asleep, and I'm not because I'm me. And I roll over and I said, "Can I just tell you something really scary?" And he's like, "Yes." And I said it and it was insane. Like,
Oh my
thing
God.
that I said, the thing that he said, I don't even remember what it was.
I wish you knew.
But I remember that it was, I'll ask him tonight and he'll tell me, he'll remember. But I just said it out loud and it lost all of its power. And it was one of the
Mm-hmm.
first times that I realized, which is it's crazy how long it took me to figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
But I said it and it was out in the open and we could both look at it. And
Mm-hmm.
since then, there have been times where I've said things that are scary to both of us or are super scary to me still, even after I say it. But
Mm-hmm.
it loses power when you share it with your person, if they're a safe
Mm-hmm.
person.
It's like when
Right.
you have a bad dream.
Yes.
When you share your bad dream, it's like no longer as bad.
Yes. Do you wake Press up to tell him?
I don't think I've woken him up. I'm usually dreaming like right when I'm about to wake up anyway.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
What's your recurring
Um,
scary dream? We've talked about our recurring weird dual layered ones, like how I can never find a clean toilet in a bathroom in a
oh
dream
yeah,
when I'm
mine, I can never
overwhelmed.
open my eyes.
You have not told me that. You have not told me that. I
Oh my God, it's awful. Oh my gosh, it's so terrible. And I feel it. Like I feel so tired when I wake up
Oh,
because
buddy.
in my dreams, it's like I'm trying to get away from something, but I can't open my eyes and I like can't move. It's so weird.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, and I but it's like I'll be trying so hard to open them and I literally cannot do it.
Oh, that's
That's horrible.
ridiculous.
It's
That's
horrible.
terrible. But do you have a
Yeah.
recurring scary dream?
Well, I was like, that's it.
I mean,
Um,
that does sound scary, but I mean like a recurring situational thing.
no, I had some when I was pregnant. I don't even want to share those but they were like anxiety dreams.
Mm,
It was
I
like
have active shooter dreams. That's
it
what
was
I
like neglectful dreams, being a
have.
neglectful mom.
You and your postpartum. That's
Yeah,
all,
it's bad.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
Mine are always active shooters, and I'm trying to figure things out. Or I can't breathe. That's the other one that will happen.
Mm.
But when I have those, I will wake Garrett up. Almost always. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'll wait like 30 minutes and see if I can just get over it, but usually I can't.
Yeah.
And he's so sweet. He knows now. He'll like just come closer to me and then I the only thing that neutralizes my nervous system is Garrett.
Oh,
That is the only thing. And the back of Mac's head. I don't know why, but it's like it's been that way since he was a baby. I picture it. It's my like safe place if I do EMDR.
oh,
I don't know what it is about the
that's
back of that
sweet.
kid's head. I mean, his face is amazing, but the back of his head, I don't know why. It's a mom thing. It's
So
just like
weird.
yummy. I don't know how to
Oh.
explain it, but
I regulate myself with pictures of Grace.
oh, I've seen you do it before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one time we were in a really dicey group situation. I look over at you and you've just peeked really quickly at a picture of Grace. And I'm like, oh, I know what she's doing. She's just, whoop, we're just bringing it
Oh,
down.
when we were at that Level Up conference and some of those, oh, you weren't there the first day. The
Uh-uh.
first day there were some stories that were shared that were just really super not triggering. I don't like that word, but like they were really activating.
Mm.
And I had texted my mother-in-law because she was watching Grace that day, and I was like, if you don't mind just sending me some fun pictures, that would be great. I'm at this conference, and I like told her briefly about it, and she was so sweet. She like sent this prayer and then sent pictures.
You have a great mother-in-law.
I know she's the best.
You really do have a great mother-in-law.
But yeah, no, I look at pictures of Grace when I want to regulate. 100%.
I get that totally.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're saying, and you and I are starting to talk about when we share things with our person, help me break it down for the listener. Because you and I are literal therapists, and what we're admitting is it takes time. You don't
Mm-hmm.
always do it perfectly. We're learning as we go. Can you help me like break down how to share these things to get through the resistance that we feel and maybe they feel too? Because I think sometimes we're such a defensive society that even when we
Mm-hmm.
share something that isn't a criticism, it's just a thought we're having, we have a hard time getting that to land sometimes with the other person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think some of the things that I've encouraged people to do, like clients or couples, is, and I do this myself, is expressing, hey, I want to share something. And the goal isn't to like activate or like create defenses. I just want to
Mhm.
share this. Or I don't, I feel silly feeling so nervous sharing this, right? Like kind of prefacing what you're actually feeling, like, f- I don't know how to say this, like prefacing with the feeling that you're having that's stopping you from sharing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're literally leading with vulnerability, saying,
Yes.
I'm feeling wonky, but it's not about you. I'm just
Yes.
having a hard time spitting this out for some reason.
Yep. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I think you do that well. I think that's a soft way to share something.
Mm-hmm. It typically goes well for me, unless I'm talking to certain individuals, which I will not name.
We all have a few that are not necessarily worthy of our vulnerability because
Mm-hmm.
they haven't been trustworthy with it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean that can't change over time, but we have to save this for the people who we believe are going to try to hear us.
Yep.
One example that I came up with that's not related to us, but it's something that could absolutely come up,
Mm-hmm.
is if you need to maybe tell your partner, hey, I want to go to your family thing, but I'm like running on empty,
Mm-hmm.
right? Can we plan for next time?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things this breaks down is sort of how to communicate this,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, like, name it simply.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard for me. I have so many words. You're better at.
Quickly give the alternative, the like not great version of what you just said.
Oh, I can do this because this is what I do. So instead of saying that, I'd love
Right.
to come to your family thing, but I'm honestly running on empty this week, I'd be like, oh my God, I had to do this, and then this happened today, and then there
Mm-hmm.
was this and this and this. And I would probably over explain. I used
Mm-hmm.
to apologize excessively. I don't really do that as much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I would not do the simple, I just have hit my limit. I'm so tired.
Mm-hmm.
So over explaining is like asking for permission for one thing, which is weird.
Right.
But also it puts the other person in like an overwhelmed place because they're getting all of this information at once when the ask is actually pretty simple.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That makes us go a little deeper. This is something you do really well in therapy. You did this the other day in a group. You were like, but why? But why? But why? Like the
Mm-hmm.
7 whys, and you land on
Mm-hmm.
the real thing. Like, what's the thing?
Mm-hmm.
But I think leading with the thing underneath, if you can spend a minute to figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
might look something like, I want to say yes because I don't want to disappoint you and I love your family, but I'd
Mm-hmm.
be showing up not fully myself, right? Or XYZ might suffer the next day because of it. And
Right.
I just can't do that, right?
Right. Right. Or I'm just tired.
Hmm.
Right. Like just saying the thing.
Also, if you're offering a bridge, like an
Mm-hmm.
alternative, then it's not just a no. I think we have a hard
Mm-hmm.
time saying no, or it feels rude sometimes in our relationships. Let me be clear, no is a complete sentence. You can just say no. And
Mm-hmm.
a good partner should be able to hear that, and you should have enough emotional bank account to like figure that out together.
Mm-hmm.
But communicating a limit or a vulnerability doesn't mean it's a dead end. So, like, my husband loves to be outside and do outside things. I'm a little more of an indoor cat. I'm working on it. It's a process, but it's not the easiest thing for me, and I come by
Yeah.
that very naturally. I grew up in
Yeah.
Chicago, moved to
Yeah.
Colorado later. A boundary might be, I don't feel like I can do that, or I don't want to do that, or that feels intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
A bridge would be, let's work up to that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or I want to try this or whatever, you know? So now what's kind of the last part of sharing, just the sharing part
Mm-hmm.
of talking about something vulnerable or making a vulnerable statement, asking a question, then what do we have to do?
Mm-hmm. We have to leave room and let them actually respond.
Oh, that's so hard.
I know. I mean, here's the thing though. Vulnerability requires tolerating the discomfort of not controlling how the other person reacts. In order to be vulnerable, well, let me actually rephrase this too. I say this in group all the time.
Yeah.
So we talk about like empathy and vulnerability and all that stuff, right? In order to be empathetic, I have to sit with I have to know what it feels like to feel an uncomfortable emotion that someone else is feeling. Same thing with vulnerability. Right. So I have to know in order to sit with someone else's vulnerability, I also have to know what it's like to feel vulnerable.
So true.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I think we have to be able to sit with that. I think it's the reason we don't share. It's because
Mm-hmm.
we're afraid of this part. We're afraid of how they will respond.
Right.
But
Well,
it's
and
also important relationship data. Oh, you know that scene in Nobody Wants This when Kristen Bell has to turn around to tell him how uncomfortable she is, and he
mm-hmm.
handles it like beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
But she can't even look him in the face when she's being vulnerable. I freaking love that show.
I do
It's like a
too.
relationship masterclass. But
No, I know.
when she turns around because she's like, I literally can't look at your face while I say this vulnerable thing,
mm-hmm.
and then has to wait. Fortunately, he handles it beautifully. But what do we do if they don't take it well or they don't respond well?
We'll be right back.
If you work with court-ordered clients, you already know the system can be overwhelming. Documentation, coordination, compliance tracking, billing, on top of actually doing the therapy. That's why we want to tell you about Reliatrax, a one-stop platform built specifically for therapists working in the court-ordered space and voluntary treatment. Reliatrax helps you stay connected with probation and referral sources so everyone's on the same page and your clients get the best care possible without the endless emails, calls, and paperwork. And here's the exciting part. Reliatrax now offers Aura, their new AI assistant. Aura helps streamline documentation, keeps you organized, and supports your workflow so you can spend less time clicking boxes and more time doing clinical work. Reliatrax also supports insurance billing, including Medicaid, making it easier to serve both court-ordered and voluntary clients all in one system. No juggling platforms and no workarounds. And the other amazing thing is you have an actual team of people who can support you, not some automated system. If you're looking for a smarter, more efficient way to manage compliance, communication, and care, Reliatrax was built for this. Check out Reliatrax and see how it can support you, your clients, and the systems you work in without burning you out. You can go to www.reliatrax.com to get started.
My immediate response is understanding that they don't have the self-awareness or insight or experience with allowing themselves to be vulnerable to know what that feels like. And that's less about you and more about them.
Absolutely. Well, and I think this is one place, and don't come at me, women, I advocate for us all the time. But one of the things that we don't always do well is give men room
Oh.
to adjust to the thing that we're saying. They're not always as used to like getting hit with something vulnerable with a lot of feeling words. Like it may take them a second. But there is a distinction between a partner who needs a minute to adjust, but who wants to understand you versus a partner who punishes you for having limits. Those are real different things. And I think what you're saying is that it's like if somebody has an issue with your vulnerability, your limit, your ability, your
That's on them.
mental health, whatever your
Yeah.
issue is, your physical health, you have a partner who can't love and respect and handle all of you. Like if they can't handle the hard things about you, they don't get the best things about you.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's that investment access thing you and I talked about that one night. I don't remember if we talked about it on the pod or just in our personal life. I can't remember now. But it was so helpful to me when I was talking with you about here's what I'm realizing, and you helped me break it down even further.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to give people access to me who are not invested in me.
Right.
And this is the same. It's like if you investment involves
Mm-hmm.
risk, hearing
Mm-hmm.
about the good, bad, and ugly about my life and my day.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's truly not into that,
Mm-hmm.
then they don't get to be into the best parts of me. And there's lots of those for all of us too, right?
Yeah.
If men knew how yummy this was, they would do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I think a lot of men might get dragged into watching Nobody Wants This with their partner.
Oh yeah, because they're like, hey, if you do like, it's like, hey, this is a class.
And they probably look at him. And I know this because I've been told this. Garen and I loved it. We watched it together and it's just very, it's our vibe. He gets it. But Garen also is pretty accessible considering he didn't grow up with a lot of feels.
Mm-hmm.
He's learned a lot, but he's always been pretty accessible to me.
Mm-hmm.
When we watch that though, I think men might look at that and be like, he's such a weenie. Like he's just emotional and he's compassionate and he's accessible and all these things. And it doesn't look super manly. I have yet to find a woman who isn't like, oh my God. I mean, the kiss and everything. I think if men understood that we like that more than some of the things that they feel pressure about, that just being there kindly with patience is so unbelievably sexy. If they knew that, I mean, we'd be out of at least the sex therapy part of our jobs pretty
For
quickly, I
sure.
feel.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, we would honestly probably not see as many couples,
Hmm.
you know?
Oh, they are mind blown. Every once in a while, Nat and I in group will give a man a job and we'll tell him, go home and you say this. And it is a directive, right? Or maybe their partner is just so stressed and overwhelmed. And we'll be like, go home, sit on the couch, put your hand on her knee, and just say, I've got you.
Mhm.
Oh, I don't
And
think
they come back every time and they're like, that went so well.
they come back smiling ear to ear, is what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And then they sit up a little straighter and they start taking notes, because it does work. Like, this is
Yeah.
not that mysterious. It just doesn't feel intuitive always.
Yeah.
And then I think women too, if we can allow our partners, whoever they are, and we're talking about like heterosexual dynamics because that's a lot of what we do with our DB work. We do work with
Yeah.
same-sex couples as well.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of the same dynamics, just
Yeah.
different expectations and
Yeah.
whatever. And that is all valuable too. But I think generally in heterosexual relationships, women have the opposite. They need to create a little bit more space for a man to just not be like bulletproof,
Mm-hmm.
to feel stressed about his job, to feel nervous about finances. And that is actually really stressful for women.
Mm-hmm.
We don't like to admit, we're like, we want a man who's accessible. And then the minute they're accessible, it's like, oh God, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah.
It's stressful a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Sometimes when I work with couples, I'll see this, right? So I'll usually get a call from the wife and they'll say like, this is what we're needing. I'm fed up and blah, blah, blah. And he's not emotionally aware or whatever, right? And then they show up and I realize I'm like, actually, he is.
Uh-huh.
You're the one who's not allowing for it because anytime that shows up, you do or say something super weird or, or rude or
Yes.
and it's funny. I love working with the couples who allow themselves to be receptive to feedback because sometimes I'll just say the thing. I'm like, so remember the call you made and this is what you were wanting. And then they do the thing that you were wanting. And now we're really uncomfortable and basically telling them not to do the thing.
Yeah, it's confusing.
And they're like, oh shit.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, here we are. We've arrived.
We've arrived.
They are not the problem.
No, not at this moment. No.
They are not the identified patient here.
No. No.
Uh,
No, and I think the biggest green flag of all time is, can your partner receive your limit, your vulnerability, your opinion, your whatever with curiosity and care?
mm-hmm.
Oh, it just feels so good.
Mm-hmm.
And it is one of the basic things we need in relationships. So if we're not able to even build it with somebody, we're not going to have it. It doesn't just spontaneously happen. Like you get married and all of a sudden you can do it. You have to put some work in. And I would hope, like, if you're out there dating and you're having your first coffee date with somebody this week, I'd be watching this one a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Test it out. Share something. Do they give you advice immediately? That's not an immediate no, but you might push a little deeper and go, I'm wondering if you could just listen for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Do they bristle? Can they go, oh, yeah, totally. I can do that. Whatever. Feel it out a little bit. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to wait a super long time. You're not being too much if you start feeling this one out early,
Right. Right.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, why do you think, Nat, vulnerability is synonymous with weakness as we're closing
Well,
up? Why is that?
I mean, if you think about it, when you're vulnerable, you are literally opening yourself up. And so, technically speaking, you actually might be a little quote unquote weaker, right? So, like, when I'm guarded, I have a shield on. That is a literal shield. When I'm vulnerable, I'm taking away that shield, which allows things to hurt me, right?
Yeah.
So I am technically allowing myself to be weaker in front of somebody else. The reason why it's so negative is, especially for men, I think, is because weakness is taught as a really bad thing. And weakness isn't bad when the other person is safe.
Mm.
Right. So I think of having the flu all weekend. Okay. I was throwing my brains out. Sorry
Oh,
for
it's
the
bad,
visual.
bad, bad, bad.
And Preston's in the bathroom.
God bless him.
Oh my God. He's trying not to throw up himself. And he's rubbing my back. And he's like, oh my God. And then he's like, and then I had this weird, he's going to kill me that I said this, but it's fine. He probably won't actually. He'll think it's funny.
Yeah.
But he has this thought where he's like, oh, it kind of smells like dog food. So he's like, then I wasn't like gagging. And he's like, and I could just rub your back. But I say that like, if I didn't feel like I could, and I was weak as I can't even tell you, right? I was very vulnerable in that moment.
Mm.
And, I wouldn't feel comfortable being like that with anybody else.
No,
right?
That's your human.
Yes. And so when you think about vulnerability, it is a really beautiful thing, but it is opening yourself up to get hurt. Right. And so you have to be mindful of who you're allowing yourself to be vulnerable with, because you are allowing yourself to be, like, for lack of better ways to put it, like a little like weaker, right? I'm not having to hold a shield. I'm not having to like puff up my muscles, right? I'm allowing myself to say, like, you know what? Like, this is where it is, and I'm trusting this.
Well, and I wonder, I love that, Nat. And I've seen this in you, and I see this in Gare and I, and it's not perfect. Like, do I have some moments, that's for sure. He does too, but mine are more frequent. But one of the things that I really appreciate about him is he's so patient. He's just patient with me. And you cannot put a price tag on patience.
Mm-hmm.
But when I've needed him, he's never just signed up for the best version of me, even when we were really young. Because it's really weird to get together at 20 and then turn 40 together. It's weird. We are very different people than when we met in mostly really great ways, But There are big differences. And I wonder, Nat, if part of the issue that we have a society that is really bracing for impact in relationships. Like people
Mhm.
probably split up more often than they stay together long term.
Mhm. Mhm.
And you and I know clinically there's certain times in relationships where people tend to split. Like there's certain milestones in relationships that are hard. And
Mhm.
to build an intimacy muscle with somebody, to keep turning to them, to let them hold these really vulnerable parts of who you are, to lose that
Mhm.
just would be excruciating. And so I wonder if for so many people who grew up maybe in broken homes, or maybe they're on their second marriage, maybe they whatever, it's really hard to do this thinking that somebody could pull this away from you.
Mhm.
But is the benefit of having it worth the risk of losing it? I think so, because I don't want to live in the middle
Right.
my whole life in this like gray area of
Mhm.
minding my business and not sharing things with somebody. But it is
Mhm.
scary. I think the fear is real.
Well, and rightfully so, because here's like we aren't guarded or have shields for no reason, right? We have them because we've felt the receiving end of
Mm.
n not a good response, right? And
Mhm.
at that point, we have a few options. We can either close up and just, it's kind of like it's the cycle of defenses that I've talked about, right? So, like,
Mhm.
right, we create these narratives of, like people aren't safe or women aren't safe or men aren't safe or whatever, right? And so we enter our world with those expectations and they're subconscious, right? So when I enter a relationship, if I have this narrative of like men, I'm gonna get hurt, right? Yeah, I probably am. I mean, shoot, Press and I've been married over 10 years. There's been hurt, right? We've
Absolutely.
worked
Yeah.
through the hurt, but we have to change the narrative in order to get rid of our expectations and our defenses, right? But what we don't have to do, so if my narrative is, I'm going to get hurt and someone hurts me, and it's, we get to decide, what, like, does this human get access to me or not anymore?
Mm.
It doesn't mean I shut off the whole world. It doesn't mean that I don't continue to try, if I'm in the dating world, continue to try to date or find friends or whatever. It just means like, okay, like this happened. And that means that this specific incident, this specific human has more boundaries now.
Oh,
I have
yeah.
more boundaries with this person,
Like an
right?
adjustment.
Yeah, they have less access. I am not going to be as vulnerable with them, right?
Yes.
But then when people prove us wrong, those negative narratives wrong, right? We have to hang on to those and say, oh, yeah, like not all people want to hurt me.
Yes.
I might get hurt, but it's not that they want to do that. It's that we're human. And then how do we heal together?
Yes. And I think we're talking about really, really intentional vulnerability with a partner. That's what most of what we've been talking about is.
Mhm.
But also having friends, having people in
Mhm.
your life that you can be real with,
Mhm.
even if it's not to the same degree, like what you're saying with Press, like
Mhm.
our partner holds the really deepest stuff, but
Mhm.
also having people in your life who can, like even my neighbor does, hey girl, busting in on me with a messy house when I'm
Right.
totally disorganized with no plan for the week, whatever. Her act of vulnerability in coming over in her little PJ pants and running in on me, which most people don't do, was so fun and started such a wonderful friendship because I then went to her house and she doesn't feel like she has to, you know, put up a bunch of
Mhm.
pretense for me either. It's like one of the best foundations for a friendship I've ever had because it's
Mhm.
just vulnerable and easy.
Mhm.
I really appreciate that more and more as I'm getting older. So I'm trying to foster that in my relationships to varying depths, but
Mhm.
allowing myself to be known takes a lot
Mhm.
of courage. And I'm here for it. But to have the energy for that, I have to relocate people who I cannot share those things with.
Mhm.
Have to. It's like a
Yeah.
non-negotiable. Like
Yeah.
not everyone can have this level of access, but
Yeah.
the people who can and who've developed trust with me, it's really a great feeling to have those relationships,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I'd agree.
And one thing I'll plug before we sign off is you and I are going to be doing a workshop
Mm-hmm.
on effective strategies, tools, skills to build a really healthy relationship or really protect and enhance the one that you have.
Yep.
And so that is coming. It is not therapy, people. We're not your therapists on the pod or in a workshop, but we are going to be doing a workshop about relationship stuff based on Gottman. It's a real formal workshop. We had to get trained in it to deliver it the right way.
Yep.
But stay tuned for that because this is something that we're passionate about, and we want to make sure that as we're covering cases and giving you these skills and things to think about, we may actually give you some psychoed materials that might be really helpful.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we'll see y'all on Friday and keep all of this in mind for the Friday episode.
Yes. As always.
Bye, forensic friends. I'm Janine.
And I'm Nat.
And as always, thanks for listening and join us next week for more Crime, Psychology, and Heart.